It is insecurity, social and political insecurity, that have led to self-determination moves. I don't like the word separatist. Nnamdi Kanu is not a separatist. He's a self-determination movement person. And self-determination is recognized by all international instruments, including the United Nations Charter, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the Economic and Political Charter. It's recognized all over the world. So it's not IPOB that he has formed about 2012 did not start as a violent organization. They were marching on the streets of Onitsha, Oka, Aba, Owerri, Umuahia, and other places, saying we want self-determination. Give us Biafra. They were peaceful. They were blowing whistles, wearing berets. Until 14th of September 2017, when the Nigerian army, through Operation Python Dance, invaded the ancestral home of Eze Kanu, the father of Nnamdi Kanu, at Afara-Uku, Ibeku, Umuahia, in Abia State. 28 defenseless and unarmed Nigerians were killed in that bloody invasion. And Nnamdi Kanu managed to escape with the whiskers and by providence, landing in Rome and later Israel, where he swore to affidavits as regards why he had to run for his dear life. So let me tell Mr. President, sir, let me use this opportunity to beg you, Mr. President, sir, on my bended knees, most genuflectingly, even as our case is right now before the Supreme Court, without prejudice to the outcome, release Nnamdi Kanu immediately. It will help to bring peace and tranquility to the Southeast. It is not the other way around. We are not saying you should subvert the judicial process by doing this. You can instruct your Attorney General, who has the powers under Section 174 of the Constitution, to enter a nolle prosequi, a total discontinuance of the whole case. What will bring peace to the Southeast towards 2023 is not the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, who has become a metaphor for the Igbo struggle. It is rather his immediate release to his people, and they will be happy. We have 374 ethnic groups in Nigeria, as discovered by Professor Onigu Otite, a great demographer. And of these 374 ethnic groups, we only always remember the Hausas, Fulanis, the Igbos, and the Yorubas. Have always asked the question, what happened to the other 371 ethnic groups, of which I am one, a minority within a minority, from a village called Ivyukwe near Agenebode, a minority, in Esako, East Local Government Area of Edo State, a minority. Where do you place me? God is not a foolish God. He knew why he planted me there. You must therefore recognize me and give me my full rights as a Nigerian. Because I'm not here as a clapper and as a spectator. That is one of the problems of insecurity in Nigeria. Marginalization, non-inclusiveness of certain people, of certain ethnic groups. What happened to the Domas, the Biras, the Chekiris, the Urobos, the Jos, the Ogunis, the Efis, the Bibios, the Esakos, Ishans, Benis, the Igbagis, the Zulus, if you just recognize only 3 to 4 ethnic groups. That is itself a sleeping magma that can erupt into a volcanic eruption. Economic and financial insecurity come there. That is why voters are giving between 5 and 10,000 naira, which is just like $10 or $12, to vote for a particular candidate. Some people are selling the next 4 years just for 10,000 naira. Do you know why? I will tell you. Because they have been so pauperized that many of them feel, let me just get this little one. At least I have seen this one, because our politicians, after they win, they will forget us. That was what Stalin did. Stalin, he called these people and said, let me tell you how to pauperize your people and make them obey you, so that they begin to suffer the Stockholm syndrome. The Stockholm syndrome is a syndrome where the slave falls in love with his master. At dawn, you will call the master, you've forgotten, you have not yet slapped me since morning. Why don't you put your legs on my head? That's Stockholm syndrome. So Stanley told the followers, say, bring me a chicken, a fowl. They brought the chicken. He started pulling out the feathers of the chicken, one by one. And the chicken or fowl was creaking, crying, screaming, in pains, in agony. And when Stanley finished plucking out all the feathers, he dropped the chicken on the floor. And the chicken started dwaddling away in pains and agony. Then Stanley dipped his hands in his pocket and brought out grains. And said, that same chicken that was now going away in pains turned back. Stanley bent down, and the chicken started feeding from his palm. He said, that is what you do to your people, to marginalize them, then conquer them. Then they will obey you. Is that what we are seeing in Nigeria? Is that why people will buy, will just be giving 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira, and a small mudu of rice, grains of rice and salt, Maggi cubes, and you go and vote for a person that you would not have voted for ordinarily? So I have said here in my paper, 35 pages, that we are not actually operating that true germ of democracy, which was defined on the 19th of November, 1863, by the great American president Abraham Lincoln in his Gettysburg Declaration, that democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. We are operating different forms of crazes, but not the demo. What are the forms of crazes? Have coined out. One is called electionocracy. What is electionocracy? Electionocracy is a form of government that we practice in Nigeria, where at every 4-year intervals, we have a ritual of going to the polls to elect or select our leaders. After selecting them, The leaders use the first 1 year touring around, greeting the people, thanking them. He uses the second year to construct some roads that will be washed away by the first rainfall, and build culverts, and build hospitals that will not be equipped. 2 years have gone. Then by the third year, underground electionary campaign starts. So they have not governed. They have not given democracy dividends. I call it electionocracy. We have a second crisis in Nigeria, which is not demo. That is judocracy. Judocracy is a form of crazy where presidents, governors, senators, and House of Representative members, and House of Assemblies, and chairmen of local government councils and legislators are conceived, incubated, and delivered in a course of law when litigation comes over election. So it is not actually the people that are voted for. It's not the candidates voted for by the people through the ballot box that may eventually turn up to be your governor or president. I call it judocracy. I have another form of government that we are practicing. I call it executocracy. Executocracy is a form of government where the president sees that the people should even be grateful to him for being their president. He rules maximally. He does what he wants. He behaves like Louis XIV of France, who in 1655 was so intoxicated, so inebriated with power, that he stood in front of Parliament and declared imperiously, "L'état, c'est moi. I am the state." That is executocracy. We also practice legislatocracy. Legislatocracy is a form of government where we have 360 near idle members of the House of Representatives and 109 senators. All of them under the Constitution, sitting part-time. The Constitution allows each of them to sit for 6 months in a year, and that is enough.